here today to talk about how to survive high school. When I was little, I thought that high school was going to be like High School Musical. I thought we were going to dance into random routines, and I was going to study hard and get into Yale like Gabriella and have a boyfriend like Zac Efron. That didn't happen because my boyfriend is not Zac Efron. But instead, I went into college and I realized that it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It was challenging and stressful and full of people just like me who thought if I studied hard enough, I can get into a good college. I could do amazing things with my 4 years. Now, it doesn't matter who you are, at some point you would have experienced high school. And those 4 years are game changers. They determine who you're going to become in the future. And so for me, instead of stressing out about what classes should I take and what should I do in those 4 years, I came up with 3 big ideas. 3 incredibly easy but often difficult steps in surviving high school. Now, I just want to say a quick disclaimer. I'm only a teenage girl. I binge watch Netflix way too much. I'm not crazy popular. I've never been to a party where the po-po show up. And I like reading romance novels about love triangles or any other geometric shape. I also have a love-hate relationship with high school. Now, therefore, I don't know everything. I turn 18 on Saturday, and I'm not an adult yet. So it doesn't mean that you should listen to me. And even when I'm an adult, you might not want to listen to me either. But these 3 steps have allowed me to strive in high school, have allowed me to do a lot of things that I'm pretty proud of. So with that, here's a picture of a show. And if you don't know what 90210 is, 90210 is a show about a group of young, hip, skinny, rich teenagers who go to West Beverly Hills High School. And on this show, they have to deal with a lot of problems. Now, besides from the obvious, the picture on the right depicts the newer version of the show. And despite it being predictable and cheesy and not so much set in reality, what I love about it is it's a time capsule. Now, what you can't tell is the show on the right deals with a lot of issues that we as teenagers today have to deal with. The characters in the show deal with their sexuality. They deal with getting good grades, getting into college, and dealing with diversity. The high school on the right is not the high school on the left. See, being a teenager has changed over the years, and that means that we have to adapt. It means that no matter where you go, whether it's West Beverly Hills High School, Cerritos, Whitney, high school's rough. We're expected to have passions and be optimistic and be hardworking and everything under the sun, and a lot of the times we can't do that. I can't do that. So instead of having an existential crisis every other day, I decided to come up with 3 big ideas. 3 ways for me to get through high school and get into a college that I really wanted to, and try to discover who I was as a person. My first step is jump in. It doesn't matter what you want to do. If you want to write a book, start writing a book. If you want to learn French, parlez vous français. If you want to travel around the world, start raising money. Trying everything under the sun allows you to discover your passions. It allows you to realize what you want to do. My parents used to tell me that I was spreading myself too thin, that I was trying too much, and really I should study for college and go to college and go to college and go to med school and go to med school and become a doctor, and all this stuff that I didn't really want to do right now. I wanted to explore and I wanted to try new things, and that meant that I jumped in, and if I had listened to them, I wouldn't be a published poet. I wouldn't have traveled the world and volunteered at hospitals on the other side of it. The next step is get crazy excited about things. And I don't mean go home and start a Tumblr about Sherlock or Teen Wolf. However awesome that is, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you love Slovakian literature, or nonprofits, or biomedical engineering, you are allowed to get unironically and enthusiastically excited about it. You're allowed to jump in your seat and scream into pillows and share the miracle of human consciousness. Because when you get crazy excited about stuff, you're driven to do more. You're driven to be a part of a community that's bigger than yourself as a whole. And you learn more about yourself. My last step is don't be cool, be yourself. Like I said before, I'm not super popular in school, but I realized that when you're popular, and this is the thing that all high schoolers sort of learn, that means that you have to limit yourself. You don't wear cargo pants because they're not cool. You don't spike your hair with gel in a 90s fashion because that's not cool. But if you want to do that, if that's you, do it. That is cool for you. And I know embracing the oversaid cliche of being yourself is really redundant. That was the best thing I had ever done for myself. Because when you step out of society's stream of consciousness and start swimming in your own, you realize that there's so much more out there. It goes back to my first step. Just jump into things. It doesn't matter what it is. Try everything new, and you'll learn more about yourself. And it goes back to my second point. Get really crazy excited about things. The person on the other side of the street may look at you weird if you get excited over a new episode of Sherlock or a new publication in a medical journal, but that's you. Embrace it. So this is me. And the past 3 years, I've done a lot of things that I'm proud of because of the 3 steps that I've embraced. I've traveled to DC and I've represented organizations. I've traveled around the world and volunteered at hospitals, and I've done a lot of things that I never thought I would do. And along the way, I met some really amazing people. Now, what I've learned is that high school does not define me. I define myself. High school is merely a jumping off point for what you want to become. And college is just a step along the way. But the bigger question is, who are we? When I was researching for this speech, I tried to look up statistics, and a lot of the statistics had one thing in common about teenagers. They were all really, really negative. Did you know that 80% of smokers start before they're 18? Did you know that 8 young people die a day in alcohol-related car accidents? I've realized that in a way, adults often find teenagers as natural miscreants, as troublemakers. And although this is our age where we're allowed to make mistakes, teenagers are supposed to be dreamers. We're supposed to be idealists and believe that we're invincible because we are. We're not afraid to try new things. We're not afraid to do anything that's uncool or cool. We're allowed to do mistakes that would make our parents mad and everything that we want to do. So in the end, most that I could say is don't let fear hinder your guard. Don't let fear stop you from doing things that you want to do. Because in the end, we define ourselves. So jump in, get crazy excited about stuff, and don't be cool to yourself. Thank you.